Hey folks, down here in Southwest Virginia this morning. I'm walking out here to my wood pile. I'm going to show you folks some of the wood that we've cut over here over the last day or so. This is some big dead locusts that we cut. You can see that big one there. It's about 1.5 feet or so in diameter. I've got about 13 of these big locust trees. I counted about 15 when I started. We cut a couple of yesterday, and I've got about 13 more to cut. I don't know, there could be 14 or 15 more to cut. We're going to cut them all, and I'm going to split them up with my wood splitter over there and throw them up on the wood pile here. We've been burning this firewood here all winter long, and we've got a couple months more worth of winter to go. So I'm going to have a lot more wood than we're going to need. Maybe going to sell a little bit of it, or save a bunch of it for next year. But I'm sure I'll be cutting wood throughout the summer next year too. So I'll cut up enough wood if I don't have enough. But I'll probably wind up selling some of this. We got to get a splitter in here. Bring my splitter over here and split some of this up over the next few days so I can throw some more on this pile. I made a couple of videos of me cutting down those 2 trees that we cut down yesterday. I'm going to let that follow this video. And I talk about your notch and your hinge and your back cut, and also pulling these big trees down with a rope puller, which we did yesterday. We brought 2 of them down using a rope puller, and it worked out really good. So that's what I'll be doing to bring the rest of these down. These trees that I'm cutting are fairly close to a house, could fall on a house, or they could fall on a farmer's fence, which I don't want either one of those things to happen. So I'm using a rope puller to get a rope high up on the tree, and then anchoring the puller to another tree some distance off, and pulling the tree down on the hinge the way I want it to fall. And so far it's working out really good. I've got one that's got a really severe lean on it. I mean, the lean must be like 45 degrees. And I've got to use a couple of ropes to get it down. I'll be making a video on it sometime in the near future. So I'm going to have to use a couple of ropes, and I'll use my rope puller, or I'll use a come along to pull it down. But anyway, that's the video on this. So, like I say, I've got those other videos about bringing those 2 locust trees down that we cut. So it'll be following this video. And if you like the videos, please subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and be putting those on here in a few, once I hook all the videos together and get them ready to post on YouTube. So if you like the videos, please subscribe, and I'll be posting a lot more about cutting down trees and splitting up firewood and doing gardening and going out and hiking and doing some fishing and canoeing and various other things in the outdoors down here in Southwest Virginia. Outdoors. Thanks. You folks have a nice day, and stay tuned here for those videos that are following this short presentation here. They'll be coming right behind this. And like I say, if you like these, please subscribe. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. Getting ready to cut a tree here. It's a dead locust tree. If you've looked at any of my other videos, you'll note that I told you I have a lot of these dead locust trees I need to cut. I'm getting ready to cut that one right there. And you can see it's kind of leaning downhill. I'm going to put a rope on it and we're going to pull it this way because there's a building right there. And the way the tree is leaning, I don't want it to hit my building. So that's the way we're going to pull it. So we hope that this thing's going to turn out the way it needs to turn out. So got my rope already up there, as you can see, but I got to put it on the tree. I want to try to get it as high as possible. And then we're going to pull it back this way once I put a notch in it and figure out what my hinge is going to be and get it ready to fell this way. But anyway, that's the what we're going to do here. So let me get off here and let's go ahead and do it. Thanks. Okay, folks, I cut the other tree this morning. I was not able to do another video on that one because my phone went dead on me, but we're cutting another one right above it. And you can see I got the rope hooked up to it. It's not a very tall tree, probably only about maybe 30 foot. Got the rope hooked up to it, and I'm going to go ahead and take and notch it. There's an old fence on the bottom of it, so I got to cut it above that old fence. And what we got on this end over here, we got ourselves a rope puller, and we've got it hooked up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and go ahead and go over there and cut my notch for it to fall this way. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut on the back side of it. And I'm going to leave a hinge. And then we're going to jack it down on the hinge. We can walk over there and take a look at the one that I cut this morning, and that's exactly what we did on that one, is we jacked it down on the hinge. A lot of people, when they cut these things, they take and they'll cut their notch, and they'll do a back cut, and they'll keep cutting it until the thing starts to fall. Well, you can do that, but if you really want it to fall on the hinge, you need to quit cutting before it starts giving away, and need to go ahead and jack it down, or take it down with putting a wedge in there and then hammering it until it goes down with a by hitting on the wedge. This is one that I cut this morning. You can see it's a dead locust, kind of hollow there in the middle. But you can see here where I had my hinge there, and it looks to be about, I would say this way, it's probably about 18 inches. So the hinge should be about 1.5 inches or so. And that's what the hinge is on this side over here. And on the other side, it looks to be about 1.5 inches or so also. This is good solid wood on the outside of the tree, even though it's a little hollow in the middle. And like I say, the back cut needs to come straight in to where the wedge is. And I didn't cut a V-notch for the wedge. For the notch, I didn't cut a V-notch. I cut just a straight in, and then I angled down from the top, because this is a pretty good sized tree. But anyway, I came pretty much straight in over here on it. On the other side, I got a little bit below it. But that's kind of the way you need to do it. Make sure you needle enough leave enough hinge there so that it don't start coming down before, without you using a wedge to get it down. Otherwise it may not fall on the hinge. If you keep cutting it till it starts going down, it may go down on the hinge, it may not. But what's really a good idea is you leave your hinge and then you go ahead and use, like we got, a rope puller, and you go ahead and pull it down with the rope puller, or you can use a come along to pull it down with. But this one here is not as big. The one I'm cutting right now is not as big as the one I cut this morning. But and I would like to have the rope a lot higher on the tree than what it is. But it should be okay like it is. We should be able to jack it on down without a problem. So let me go ahead and get this done, and when we get ready to jack it down, I'll take and start recording the video, and you can kind of hopefully watch it when we jack it down. Thanks a lot, and if you like my videos, subscribe. And I'm going to stop this right now, and then I'll start it here again in a minute once I get my notch cut and have the back cut, and we're ready to start jacking it down with the rope puller. All right, got my notches cut, got my assistant over there jacking it down. Okay, well, get behind the tree. Okay, you can see it came down. I'll close out this video now. As you can see, it's pretty bright out here. You can see my shadow. We're going to take a look at the, I hope you saw the tree come down, because it came down the way it was supposed to come down. This is the stump from that tree. It was nowhere near as big as the one we cut earlier today, but I got a kind of straight in notch, and I left my holding wood there. Looks to be about 8 inches or so across there, and my hinge is off a little bit. I got it maybe about 1/2 inch on the other side, and looks like maybe about 1.5 inches on this side. It's kind of hard with this particular tree because it's right here on this bank. Got this old barbed wire fence right on the bottom of it, and couldn't get down. You can see there's a hill here. Couldn't get down on the other side of it to gauge it and to see where my hinge was. But anyway, we cut it down and it fell, as you can see there where it fell. And once it hit, it just kind of rolled down the hill. It fell the way we wanted it to fall, so it worked out real good. So this rope puller, pulling these hinge down, cutting your notch, and then getting your hinge set, and then doing your back cut and jacking it down instead of cutting all the way through until it starts to fall. This is working really good. So anyway, thanks a lot. I hope you liked the video. If you do, please subscribe, because we're going to be cutting more of these. Thanks.